This is going to be a position to go over hip extension, progressing into maybe some resistance with a band in the quadruped position. It's nice if I can start off with my foot sliding on the ground versus having to lift it up. So if I'm on carpet, I'm going to use a clipboard or a paper plate, works really well. If I'm on a smooth surface, being in a sock or a towel on a hardwood floor also does the job. So first, no band, right? I have my foot on this clipboard. And I want to set up all my postural cues first. So I like to have my fingers spread nice and wide, elbows tucked in just a little. And I want to make sure that I'm pushing the ground away. So I'm pushing my shoulder blades away from each other. As I do that, I'm not rounding my back very high. So I'm pushing my shoulder blades away, and then I go to the pelvis next, and I try and say, all right, well, I don't want to do this, right? I don't necessarily want to do the extreme of this either, right, where my neck and everything is moving, so it's just push the ground away and try and tuck the pelvis a little bit to keep a nice flat posture in my back. When I watch patients, I try and tell them I don't want to see any wrinkling of their clothes or their shirt. So there we go. So hands, elbows, push the ground away, and my back is nice and flat. Now I want to see if I can maintain the same posture of my back with my foot on this clipboard and very slowly slide my foot back and squeeze my butt. Really making sure as I squeeze that none of this happens. So I don't want to see that back drop. And then slowly come back forward. This knee doesn't have to touch the ground again, right? And if I have any issues where as I'm sliding, maybe as I get all the way back, my back drops, or maybe as I bring my knee up, my back starts to tip. I want to go through whatever range I can without my pelvis moving, right? So if you couldn't see my leg and you just saw my lower back, you shouldn't really know that anything's happening based on what my lower back is doing. So if I have an issue, I may start off with little pulses and a short range, but if I can, I'm going to try and go all the way into hip extension, squeezing my butt, and come back up slow. So that's phase one. Now, to add some resistance to it, I'll take a TheraBand, right? And I'm just going to take it underneath the arch of my foot, okay? And I'm typically, if this is on my right foot, I'm going to take this in my opposite hand, okay? So I'm going to come back into that same position. Now I have the band underneath one of my hands, okay? And this is just going to apply a little resistance to the same position. So same concept, push the ground away, pelvis tucked. Very slowly going to let my foot slide back against the resistance of this band and come back slow. Really important that I don't want to let my legs snap back and forth. I want to control the motion. And back up slow. So good progression to work into some hip extension with a really big focus on maintaining pelvic and abdominal control so you don't just fall into that lordotic posture.